They told me to be quiet, to be patient, to wait for permission, but listen to me now. This is the sound of a woman who stopped waiting. This is the sound of independence being born. I stand in front of you not as a miracle, not as an exception, but as proof of what happens when a woman decides that her dreams deserve income, her talent deserves value, and her life deserves choice. I come from a place where fear was inherited and ambition was questioned, where a woman's safety was measured by how dependent she was on others, and success was defined by sacrifice alone. I remember the nights I cried over bills, over self-doubt, over the silent pressure to settle, and the mornings I still showed up, tired but hungry for more. I learned early that money is not just currency, it is confidence, it is voice, it is the power to walk away from disrespect and walk toward dignity. When I earned my first income, it wasn't just money in my hands, it was freedom in my spine. When I paid my own bills, I realized independence is not about rejecting love, it's about choosing it without fear. I worked while being underestimated, I learned while being ignored, I rose while being told to stay in my place, and every step forward was a rebellion against a world that profits from women shrinking. Financial independence did not make me cold, it made me courageous. It did not make me selfish, it made me self-aware. It did not take away my femininity, it refined it with strength. Today I don't ask for permission to dream big, I fund my dreams. I don't wait to be saved, I build my own safety net. I don't lower my voice, because my earnings taught me that my words carry weight. I am not here to say it was easy, I am here to say it was worth it, because a financially independent woman doesn't just change her life, she changes her family, her community, and the future generations watching her rise. My story is not finished, but one truth is permanent: when a woman controls her money. Part 2. And understand this, the future I speak of is not distant, it is unfolding right now, in every woman who chooses courage over comfort and vision over validation. Financial independence taught me that security is not found in people's promises but in my own preparation. It taught me that love feels different when it is not mixed with fear, and respect feels natural when you can stand on your own ground. I stopped apologizing for my ambition when I realized the world never apologizes for limiting women. I stopped dimming my fire when I understood that my light could guide others out of darkness. With every paycheck, every investment in myself, every risk I took despite trembling hands, I rewrote the definition of what a woman can be: provider and nurturer, leader and learner, soft-hearted yet unbreakable. I saw how my independence gave my parents relief, my dreams structure, and my younger self healing. I saw how my journey whispered permission to other women who were watching silently, wondering if they too could rise. Financial independence is not about competing with men, it is about completing ourselves. It is not about pride, it is about power with purpose. When women earn, societies evolve. When women decide, generations transform. When women rise, the future recalibrates its expectations. I am building more than income, I am building options, legacy, and a life where no one can buy my silence or bargain with my worth. So when I say financially independent women are the future, I say it with certainty, because the future needs women who can think freely, choose boldly, and stand firmly on the foundation of their own strength. And I am just one voice, inviting you to become the echo that changes everything. If you are listening to me and feeling that quiet pull in your chest, that restless voice asking for more, know this: it is not greed, it is your potential demanding space. I was once where you are, standing at the edge of fear, wondering if I was capable, wondering if the world would accept a woman who refuses to depend, who refuses to disappear behind tradition or comfort. What changed everything was not luck, it was decision, the decision to learn even when I felt behind, to start even when I felt unready, to persist even when results were slow and voices were loud. Financial independence taught me discipline, patience, and the audacity to believe that my effort could shape my destiny. I failed, I fell, I questioned myself more times than I can count, but every setback sharpened my hunger and every struggle carved resilience into my soul. Today I walk with my head high not because I am perfect, but because I am prepared, not because life is easy, but because I am equipped to face it. I want every woman to understand this truth: your income is not just a number, it is a statement. It says you trust yourself, you invest in yourself, and you refuse to hand over your future to chance. rise, learn, earn, and lead, because when a woman becomes financially independent, she doesn't just secure her own life, she becomes the proof that the future belongs to women who dare to claim it. Part 4. Let me end this by telling you what financial independence truly gave me. It gave me ownership of my time, authorship of my story, and the courage to live unapologetically. It taught me that survival is not the same as living, and comfort is not the same as fulfillment. When I began earning, saving, investing, and growing, I wasn't just building wealth, I was building identity. I was unlearning generations of silence and rewriting legacy with intention. I learned to sit at tables I was never invited to negotiate without guilt, to say no without explanation, and to dream without ceilings. Financial independence showed me that a woman with resources becomes a woman with influence, and a woman with influence reshapes systems that once excluded her. I have seen how my strength inspires confidence in other women, how my choices challenge outdated norms, how my freedom disrupts a world that benefits from women being dependent. This journey demanded sacrifices, sleep, comfort, instant gratification, but it rewarded me with peace, pride, and power that no one can take away. To every woman listening, I want you to know this path is not reserved for the privileged or the fearless. It is built by those who decide to begin despite fear, who keep going despite doubt, and who believe that their dreams deserve financial backing. The future will not be built by women who wait to be chosen, it will be built by women who choose themselves, invest in their skills, own their worth, and refuse to live small. Financially independent women are not just the future, we are the foundation, the momentum, and the revolution, and the world will soon realize that when women rise with economic power, humanity rises with them. And now, as I stand here fully aware of how far I've come, I speak not just from success but from survival, from the long road between who I was and who I chose to become. Financial independence didn't arrive overnight, it was built in quiet rooms, in lonely decisions, in moments where quitting felt easier than continuing. It was built when no one clapped for me, when progress was invisible, when my dreams felt too heavy for my hands yet I carried them anyway. I learned that being a financially independent woman means learning the language of patience, mastering the discipline of consistency, and trusting yourself even when the world doubts you. It means understanding that your value is not measured by how much you give away, but by how wisely you protect, grow, and invest in yourself. With independence came clarity, the clarity to walk away from toxic environments, to set boundaries without guilt, to choose growth over approval, and to create a life aligned with my truth. I saw how my journey rewired the beliefs of women around me, how my courage gave them permission to dream louder, aim higher, and demand more from life. Financial independence is not about money alone, it is about mental freedom, emotional security, and the power to design your future on your own terms. So when the world tries to convince you to stay small, stay dependent, stay silent, remember this: every financially independent woman you see was once doubted, once afraid, once underestimated, and still she rose. This is your invitation to begin, to believe, to build, because the future is not waiting for women to be ready, the future is waiting for women to be brave enough to claim it. This is where my story opens into something larger than me, because financial independence is not an ending, it is a responsibility to rise consciously, to uplift intentionally, and to lead boldly. When I became financially independent, I realized I was no longer just earning for myself, I was breaking cycles that had existed long before I was born. I was answering the silent prayers of women who never had choices, only obligations. Every skill I learned, every risk I took, every boundary I enforced became a brick in a future where women are not taught to endure, but to expand. I learned to see money as a tool, not a temptation, something to create impact, to build security, to fund dreams bigger than fear. Independence sharpened my vision. It taught me to plan long-term, to invest wisely, to understand that real wealth is stability, freedom, and the ability to say I choose without hesitation. I stopped romanticizing struggle and started respecting strategy. I stopped glorifying burnout and started prioritizing sustainability, because empowered women don't just rise fast, they rise smart. Along this journey, I discovered that confidence grows when competence meets courage, and power multiplies when knowledge meets action. I became intentional about mentorship, about sharing what I learned, Because a future led by financially independent women is not built in isolation, it is built in community. We rise differently, we rise by pulling others up, by creating spaces where women are paid fairly, heard clearly, and valued fully. Financial independence gave me the authority to speak without fear of consequences, to challenge injustice without worrying about survival, to support causes that align with my values, and to design a life that reflects my purpose. I am no longer negotiating or waiting to be validated. I am building, contributing, and evolving with confidence. And if you think this journey is about becoming hard, you are mistaken. It made me softer where it mattered, stronger where it counted, and fearless where it was required. The future belongs to women who understand numbers as well as intuition, strategy as well as empathy, ambition as well as integrity. It belongs to women who refuse to hand over their power, who invest in their minds as fiercely as they invest in their dreams, who know that independence is not rebellion, it is responsibility. So I stand here not just because I we are no longer waiting for permission, we are writing policies, we are no longer surviving quietly, we are thriving loudly. We are already here, shaping the economy, rewriting narratives, and designing a future so strong, so inclusive, and so intentional that generations ahead will call this moment the beginning. So I leave you with this, not as advice, but as truth earned through experience. Your independence is your birthright, and your courage is the key to unlock it. You do not need to have it all figured out, you only need to believe that your life is worth investing in. Start small, think big, stay consistent, and never apologize for wanting more from yourself and from the world. Remember that every step you take toward financial independence is a step toward freedom, dignity, and self-respect. The future is not a distant dream, it is shaped by the decisions you make today. And when history looks back, it will not remember the women who waited, it will remember the women who chose themselves. They are the force that builds it.